Yo, what is up? It's your boy Zed here, back with another video. Okay, so guys, you guys obviously hit the like goal, and as promised, here's the next part. Now, before this video gets started, I just want to remind you all that I made a Discord, and it will be in the description, so go join it. It's pretty empty right now, so if you guys could help me out, then that'd be very appreciated. The part 5 to what if Naruto was Deadpool should be dropping tomorrow, and shortly after that, if you guys hit the like goal, I'll drop what if Deku was Deku. But with no further ado, let's get started. Okay, so in the last part, Deku had just told Shigaraki to stop being bratty and told him that if he actually wants to be somebody, he better stop acting like a child. He then jumps off, leaving Shigaraki angry and wanting to kill that bastard, thinking, no, I'll just use him. I'll use him to get what I want. Now, Deku will be jumping from building to building and thinking on ways of how he could destroy the League. He then comes up with the idea of blending in with the class of UA and devises a plan to go undercover and be a sort of double agent for the League and for UA, as well as the heroes. He decides he's going to set up a meeting with the heroes, and he continues with his usual vigilante work. Now, 2 nights later, the heroes actually end up catching him. This is when he smiles under his mask and says, "Listen to me, heroes. The League of Villains is planning to destroy All Might and the Hero Society as we know it. Their leader is not the man-child you saw, but somebody much more evil. Seems to me he actually has the power to bring most of you down. Now you need me to stop him. If we don't get rid of them now, the entire Hero Society as we know it will be brought down to its knees." He will then tell them that he wants to speak with Nezu, with Endeavor getting angry and rushing him, saying, "We don't need to accept your petty demands." And Deku would dodge Endeavor and in one fell swoop, jump behind Endeavor, grabbing a knife and putting it to his throat, saying, "I'm not playing these games, Endeavor." While he looks into his eyes and says, "Try that again and I'll make sure you can't do any more hero work for the rest of your goddamn life," shooting off his bloodlust and making Endeavor cower in fear. Now, he then lets Endeavor go and says, "Think about it. Meet me at the top of UA tomorrow and we'll talk." This is when All Might will then say, "And why should we trust you?" with Deku saying, "Because your time's almost up," making All Might scared shitless because Red Hood knows about his time limit. This means he knows he couldn't take him on even if he wanted to. Deku will then go back to hiding and decides on how he's going to do this. After the night is over, he finishes researching all the heroes as well as their weaknesses. He then jumps away and goes to work. Not work, but like workout. Sorry, I should have said that better. Now, time passes and the night comes around. Now, I'm going to go ahead and time skip till about 2 a.m. Deku will put on his Red Hood costume on and go to the top of the UA building where he just waits. This is when Principal Nezu will actually show up and Deku says, "Glad you could make it. Before we get started, I want all the heroes you have on standby to stand down. I have no intention of harming you or to escape." Nezu will then say, "That's quite alright," and tell the heroes to stand down. Now, Deku will then say, "Good. Okay. Now listen." As he takes off his helmet and Nezu sees he's just a boy. Nezu is shocked and says, "Wow, I expected you to be way older," with Deku chuckling and says, "Don't be fooled by my appearance. I'm a trained killer." Now, as you know, the League of Villains has been growing recently and it's only going to keep growing. That thing that All Might fought, that's just the beginning. I fear there's more at stake here. I feel there's something greater. What you saw was nothing compared to what they could have under their sleeve. So I propose this. I want to enroll at this school, blend in with your students and help them take out this villain, giving you guys information on the League of Villains and keeping the kids safe. Now, before I keep going, I want to tell you something. Obviously, as you saw, I was working with the villains the last time we met. My plan is to get as much intel on them and get as close to them as possible, but I also want to keep All Might safe since he's the one hero that I truly believe in. Now, what I'm gonna be doing, I can't do alone, and from what I saw, those kids need protection. I'm afraid Aizawa is simply not enough considering I'm quirkless and could take him out without even using my arms. Nezu then sits down and looks up and says, "Well, I enjoy your plan, but how do I know you're not lying to me?" Deku then looks at him dead in the eyes and tells him, "Do I look like I'm lying?" Nezu then says, "No, you look dead serious." Nezu then says, "I believe you," then tells Deku to please protect the students. Now, they continue to talk for the rest of the night, with Nezu telling Deku that he can see pain in his eyes and tells him that he grew up too soon. Deku then looks down and says, "Maybe I did," and then puts his mask on and leaves. He'll then give his number to Nezu, and it's an untrackable phone that he made himself. Forgot to mention, Deku actually has his usual hair, just longer with green tips, and decided to give himself a makeover for the next day at UA. He'll decide to cut his hair shorter and dye the green to his root color, black. He'll then put in brown contacts, and also, I forgot to mention, Deku is fucking sexy. Like, he is ripped as fuck and smart as fuck. He's basically perfect. And yeah, he gave himself a mini makeover. Okay, 2 days would go by and the mini break would be over. Deku would go to UA and be introduced by Aizawa as a transfer student to replace Mineta. After he got expelled on the little test, since I don't like Mineta, so yeah, might as well. And this is when Deku will walk in to see all the girls in UA get wet instantly. I'm playing. No, but all jokes aside, they all look at him and kind of drool a little bit. He walks in and all the girls are all over him. The guys are jealous and Deku sits next to Araka. She's over here blushing and Deku notices it and sighs, not really caring about any of the girls. Anyways, Aizawa then says that the sports festival is coming up and they need to be ready for it. Also, forgot to mention, Mirio has one for all. Anyways, okay, class ends and the girls immediately start rampaging on Deku, saying, "Where's he from? What's his quirk? Is he single? Where was he transferred from? How old is he?" And Deku answers them all, making a sort of facade of being a really kind guy. Now, he creates a sort of personality that he would have in the original canon, since he doesn't want to give himself away. Now, after answering everything, he then smiles nicely and says he has to go home and goes back to his base. Now, obviously, he lied about all of his answers because he doesn't want to give anything away. And once he got to his base, he started training hard because, well, he always trains his body to the limit. There's no such thing as a break for him. He wants to achieve his goal and he wants to do it as quick as possible. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and time skip to the day of the sports festival. Now, Bakugo will actually give a speech to the class. Give a speech with Class 1A being hated, and the race will then be announced. Okay. Now, Deku gets ready to start, and all the girls of 1B, 1A, and the general course are completely head over heels over him. They all basically start getting close to him and saying, "Good luck, Deku." Not Deku. Good luck, what should his name be? What should his name be? I'm gonna give him a different name for the story purposes. Good luck, let's go ahead and give him the Jason. Good luck, Jason. Good luck, no, I don't like that. Yeah, let's go with Jason. Good luck, Jason, since, you know, that's the redhead, I think. Good luck, Jason, with Deku just kind of being like, leave me alone. Not really caring about the girls and just kind of putting up his facade, acting like he enjoys the company. Now, as soon as the race starts, Todoroki shoots his giant thing of ice, and Deku, seeing this, will literally start running up the fucking ice, no problem. Now, he tries not to go all out and not really show himself too much because he doesn't want to get caught. He shows just enough skill to show that he can be in UA, but doesn't want to be in first place for anything since he doesn't want to give himself away. Now, he then runs at about Ida speed and catches up to Todoroki, and let's just say this race is pretty whack. He ends up getting about 3rd place, and I did that just to not have people wondering who he is. Now, the cavalry battle will be announced, and all the girls will actually want to team up with Deku, and Deku decides just to team up with the girls in his class. So he ends up teaming with Uraraka, Momo, and the Acid Girl. I think her name is Mocho? I don't know her name. Ashido, I think that's her name. Now, he gets 4th place in that with the girls, and let's just say that the race was nothing interesting, honestly. It was kind of wax. I mean, not the race, and the cavalry battle was kind of whack. Now getting into something a little better. So, everybody in the original canon of the sports festival would actually pass on to the fighting portion, and Todoroki and Bakugo don't really fuck with Deku, since the whole time he had his girls bombarding him, and by fuck with Deku I mean mess with him or like try to intimidate him. Okay, so matches will be announced, and as usual, Deku will actually be fighting Shinso. The match will start, and Shinso will try to talk shit to Deku about being a pretty boy and how he ain't shit, which Deku doesn't respond to. He just rushes at Shinso and beats his ass with hand-to-hand combat, and doesn't really answer, since he was trained not to really care about what others say or really show as much emotions. The next match will start, and Deku and Todoroki will be announced. Now, Todoroki will not pull up with his "Are you all my secret love child?" and the match will honestly just start as normal, with Todoroki shooting a giant ice boulder, and Deku and Todoroki having a bit of a good fight. Deku will proceed to run around the ice, and Todoroki will shoot another wall, which will trap Deku inside of a sort of small encaged area. Deku will actually jump from each ice and jump from side to side to side until he gets high enough where he can basically not get shot by any ice. But this is when Todoroki will then actually shoot a giant ice spikes at him, and Deku will just dodge each and every one of them, getting close to Todoroki, but Todoroki kind of sliding away, and Deku just kind of following him the entire time. Now, Deku will actually get a little close and start fighting with Todoroki in hand-to-hand combat. Todoroki will be putting up a decent fight, since Deku's not really trying, honestly. He's just kind of fucking around. So, Deku will actually be putting up good taijutsu hands with Todoroki, and Todoroki will actually be doing a tad bit alright, since he's not going at all. He's not going all out at all. Like, he's trying nothing. Because if he even tried, Todoroki would look like an infant. But anyways, he will then start swapping mad hands against Todoroki, and Todoroki would just be like, fuck, man. This will cause Todoroki to get mad and actually activate his fire, since he can't beat this guy. Now, after he activates it, Deku actually lets himself get hit by it and then gets thrown off the ring. Now, after that happens, Deku actually starts healing, and all the girls actually started going up to Todoroki, telling him he shouldn't have done that. Like, why would they hurt him? And, you know, he went overkill, and Todoroki just being like, fuck, man. Now, Deku, as soon as that happens, about a couple seconds will go by, and he'll get up good as new. Everybody will be like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And Deku will then say, oh yeah, I regenerate quick. I have a regeneration quirk. And yeah. Now, next match will be announced, which means Bakugo versus Todoroki, and Todoroki would slap Bakugo this time. So, Todoroki would get 1st place, Bakugo would get 2nd. No, actually, Bakugo would win if Todoroki doesn't use his fire. So, yeah, Bakugo wins, Todoroki 2nd, and Tokiyami 3rd, I believe. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to Tokiyami. Tokiyami 3rd. Now, everything else goes basically to canon, and Deku decides to lose on purpose, obviously not to draw any attention to himself. Now, the rest goes on, and Todoroki stays a little bitch, and yeah, I mean, that's really the end of the sports festival arc, with nothing really else to say. But yeah, I mean, this video is 14 minutes. I think I gave you guys a pretty decent fix. Next part will be the Stain and his internship. But with that out of the way, boys, Zether out.